Okay, to show the differences between three different types of flash, I've set up an object quite close to a white background so that when we use each technique, you can see what kind of shadow detail we're creating or losing by using each technique. Now, the three versions I'm going to use, first of all, I'm going to use direct flash straight onto the subject, then I'm going to use bounced flash, and then I'm going to use off-camera flash, just to show you the three different styles and what effects it has on a subject such as this one. Now, the first setting I'm going to use, the flash is set to ETTL directly on the subject. I'm using manual setting 100th of a second at f6.3 on 100 ISO. So let's just take that shot straight away. Okay, you're probably seeing this, that the subject has obviously got very, very harsh shadows. It's lit okay, but obviously the shadows are quite disgusting. We don't like direct flash in this house, and you can see it just really detracts from the actual object. So direct flash is only used on rare occasions. So let's now change that to try and eliminate some of those shadows by using a bounce flash, and we're going to use this dome. It's called a flash dome from Gary Fong. You can get other models and makes, but it's basically just a diffuser for the flash. So if we put this onto the camera, and we're going to also bounce it from the ceiling. Now, because I'm bouncing the flash, if you remember from previous videos, I've got to double the output of the flash to actually account for the fact that it's going up and not straight onto the subject. So if I go to my flash exposure compensation, put it up to +2 as far as it will go, I'm now going to take a shot with this to see if we can eliminate some of those shadows. So it's the same shot, same settings, 100th of a second, f6.3, and we've just doubled the output of the flash. So here we go. And you can see there we've got much less shadows than the previous shot. It's managed to diffuse the shadows quite nicely, but obviously we're still quite close to the white background, so we're still getting some shadow detail. But it has diffused it to the point where it's actually almost a usable shot. Now, either of those don't really work for me because of the shadows. So now what we're going to do is turn this flash gun off, and we're going to use the METS here, which is I use it as an off-camera to hammerhead flash, and I'm going to use it off the camera. So I put the PC cord into the camera here, and I can then use it any direction I want. Now, the setting I'm going to use, I'm going to keep the camera exactly the same, 100 ISO, 100th of a second at f6.3, and I've set, it's very much a manual flash this, I've set it to f8, which is about approximately the aperture that we're using. But what I'm going to do now is actually pull it round to the side and take a shot from a different angle to try and kill that shadow. So if I now take this off around the camera, remember this flash is actually off, the main flash on the camera is off, so I'm now going to move this right round to the side here and take a shot. And you can see there, it's a much more pleasing effect. The shadow is way over to the right, but on the actual subject itself, we've got some really good details. Now, the background obviously could be whiter, but we've kept those details in very nicely. There's no shadow behind the object itself, so we've made it really stand out. But what we've also done is created some really nice shadow detail on the subject itself down the right hand side, because the flash was hitting it from the left. So for me, that is a really, really interesting use of flash, and it's better than the other two previous versions, whether you're doing direct flash or bounce flash. So remember, if you've got the ability to actually take the flash gun off your camera and use it at various angles, you can create some really cool effects. And obviously suiting the subject better in this instance is to keep it off the camera and shoot it at a different angle. And obviously you can use more than one flash, you can use 2 or 3 flashes and really start to play with them to see what the light does to enhance the subject. So if you've got a flash gun that will enable it, take the flash gun off the camera, use a PC sync connector, and just start moving it around and see what kind of results you get. Obviously you can use it for subjects like this, but you can also use it for portraits and all sorts of different sorts of photography subjects. So take it off the camera, have a play, and we'll see you on the next video.